Hello, 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 and happy new year. Welcome to Finding Calm in the Chaos with the Blended Mama. My name is Teresa Stone. I am the Blended Mama, and I am an independent brand ambassador with Tula 12. Today is the first day of 2023. It is January 1st, 2023, and I'm super excited to be doing something new. First, I'm streaming both in our Facebook community, our Chaos Coordinator community, and hopefully, if technology is cooperating, I'm also streaming over on my YouTube channel. So hopefully we are reaching all the audiences today. And if you are not part of the Chaos Coordinator community, you can go to theblendedmama.com and click join the community, and you can be part of us there. It is a little more personal and private as opposed to the YouTube channel, but I am intending to stream this both in Facebook and on YouTube for the duration of this calendar year, again, as long as all goes well. So today, like I said, it is the beginning of the year, and this is a time when a lot of us are really working to try to implement new habits. And that's what we're actually talking about all month long over on Facebook. We are going to be talking about building those new habits in 2023 and really setting yourself up for success. So today I'm actually going to be doing basically a straw man outline of what I think my new routine is going to look like on an average week. Now, this doesn't mean that I'm going to follow this to the letter every day, and if I don't do XYZ at the exact time I have it listed, that I'm going to beat myself up. That's not what this is about. This is really about doing some evaluation of what my schedule looks like. Where can I fit things in? Where am I going to make time for those things that are a priority for me this year? So I'm going to just be doing a straw man. I probably won't be able to complete it just because I still have some things that are a little bit up in the air. But that's why I like to use my friction pens for things that are not necessarily set in stone, is because I can erase them and move them around. But this is just a straw man, so it's just to give me an idea of where I can maybe add some things in, where I can put that focus time for my business or prioritize family time and dinner, like family dinner nights and things like that. So let me just share my other screen here. So hopefully you can see my desktop. So this is the weekly planner with the hourly layout. So I'm going to bring it up just so you can maybe see it a little bit better. It is broken down by the hour. It starts at 7 a.m. and goes through, well, I guess it ends technically at 9, and at 8 o'clock is the last bucket. But I am notorious for adding above for sure. And I often add below because I sleep between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. So I start way before 7 and definitely end after that. So I am going to just turn over here so that I can start working here in my planner. So like I said, this is just a straw man outline. So what I'm going to start with is just writing in my work time for my day job. And I just need to pick a color for that. So I think I don't think this gray is going to show up well enough. Let me do this dark blue. So I normally work my day job between 7 a.m. and 3:30. Now this year I do want to add in, and this is where I'm going to put in something. I'm going to go ahead and block off lunchtime here. And so normally my lunch is only half an hour, but I am blocking off a full hour because my daughter and I are signed up for a 5K later this year. It's actually, it's in the spring, so it's not really that much later. And I have not run or done any kind of like real exercise in several years. Now, I did run the Marine Corps Marathon in 2015, so it's not like I'm not capable of running any kind of distance, but I have not been consistently working out for quite some time. So what I'm doing here is just blocking off Monday to Friday, some walking. So this is walk run time. And because my daughter is doing online school at home, we are able to do this at lunchtime. And I know about myself that I like to do that in the middle of the day. When I went into an office, I would often either walk we had like a trail that went around. So I would either walk that with some coworkers, or when I was training for the marathon, there was a group of us that would run at lunch. So lunchtime, I know historically has been good for me just to get out and move a little bit, and it kind of breaks up your workday. Now, there's obviously going to be some amount of, flex in there, but I'm going to put that in there for now. But that means that because I'm taking an extra half hour in my lunchtime, that means that my new work time needs to go to 4 o'clock. Okay, so I am going to and I don't, oh, this one's out of ink. All right, and I'm going to do a good thing. This one is out of ink. It's just going straight in the trash can, because clearly that's not what happened the last time. All right, so I'm just going to kind of block this off, and I am going to put a big line through it, and this is just going to say work. Same for this top section. Now, if you had like a marker, that would kind of work a little bit better. I do have some highlighters from Friction, but they are not all the same colors. So this is also work. Okay, so I'm not going to do that for the rest of the week, but that's basically what my Monday to Friday is going to look like. Now, I also know that on Saturdays, we work 8. Well, let's go ahead and make that 7 to 3 o'clock. See, that's where I went too far. 3 o'clock. We work at our restaurant. So at least for the month of January, that is my current plan. Now, my daughter starts back with soccer. So I'm going to just put bakery. And I don't need any more detail than that, right? My husband and I also have, and I have color coded this. So for me, purple is self-care. Red that I'm using here is for our bakery business. Green is networking. Teal, like a lighter blue, is my 212 business. So basically I do color code, and so I'm doing that as I go, just because I already have a color coding system. If you don't have one, that's totally fine. So this is when we do our business meeting. Okay. Another thing you could do if you want to go back and like kind of color code without necessarily actually color coding, we do have the color coding dots. So you could actually just add the dots on the appropriate things if you don't want to use different color ink. I know some people are very much black and white planners, and they don't want all the color, but maybe I personally like the color. It's easy, it makes it easy for me to differentiate. But some people don't. So if that's you, don't feel like you have to do what I'm doing. That's the great thing about planning, is you really are looking for the system that works best for you. Okay. All right. So we have my day job. And again, that's just going to be the same. And look, y'all, I put walk. Listen, I'm clearly still on vacation here. I go back on the 3rd. So that brain definitely has to get turned on shortly. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I have the this like turquoise color. So on Mondays, and this is, I may actually have to adjust. So on Mondays here at 3:30, we have an accountability meeting. So I might have to adjust that. And that is the nice thing. We may not walk or run every day, right? So it may be that Monday I don't need to do our walk, or we do it later in the day. So this is kind of where I can see, oh, I probably need to not do that, right? I kind of should have put some of these other things in here. What else do I often have on a weekly basis? All right, so Thursday nights is usually either a party night or I have something else going on. So I'm going to just block this as party. Let's just call it workshop. Workshop. Because that's either when I do like focused work where I'm prepping for it, or I'm actually running the workshop. And then Friday is often community events in our chaos coordinator. So this is community events. And again, it still is always, it's all still within my business. So I left that the same color. So I do want to make sure that I leave some time in there for family time. So generally on Mondays, we do eat together. So I'm going to just put Mondays here between 5 and 8 as family time, because that doesn't so my oldest is now 17. So it's weird because he's starting to do more stuff on his own. So finding, it's rare that we have dinner together as a family anymore. It happens on Sundays. And that I'll go ahead and put that in here. Oh, Sundays at 4 is this time, right? So that is generally my planning time. And I try to either stream it so that you can see what I'm doing and you can learn how to use your planner more effectively, or I will have it as a Zoom style call where you can actually get on and we'll talk to each other face to face. So make sure that you check our schedule. I do have 3 more of these scheduled for January I'm intending for them to be on the Zoom style call. So that's my goal. So keep that in mind. But so Sunday is 4 is planning time. And then I often have, so dinner is at 5, just because we have more meetings after that. So this is family dinner, because the kids actually have stuff earlier. And then this is focused work. So some of this is meetings, but it's also just general. So I'm going to put this focused working time. Okay. Saturday, I do try to keep fairly clear, just again, because we don't get a ton of family time, but my son does work some Saturdays, so it doesn't always happen that way. And then, Wednesday is always, always, always date night. So this is date night right here. So that is forever and ever our date night, I do believe. So the kids go to church and then we go out on a date night. So that's pretty much always there. And then Tuesday, I do have some meetings, but not every Tuesday. So I'm gonna put, so we'll put some focus work here. That could also be family time. So we'll put dinner here. So that's what this is, family dinner, family time. And then Wednesdays is date night, but I do need to put in some work time here. This is usually whenever I'm getting ready for mail. I take the mail on Fridays. So this is when I do thank yous. It's on Thursday. And then I usually go to the post office on Friday. So this just gives me a general outline. It just kind of helps me And like I said, all of these are really still work, right? So it gives me an idea of, where I am spending my time. This is church. It is right here. So anyway, so this is kind of what I do to give me a general idea of, what my schedule looks like. It allows me to see where I might be able to fit in additional things, where I might need to adjust things that, I don't need to be spending that much time on whatever. So it allows me to shift things and see where I have general buckets. I don't know if y'all heard that, but the dog's apparently at the door dropping her toys. I guess she wants to come to work too. That's what we call it when we come back here, and she comes in and lays on her bed that's over in this corner. But anyway, I digress. So hopefully that gave you guys a good idea of how you can really talk about, and actually let me show you what I do. So here at the beginning, so whenever I'm adding, right, if I'm adding time, this is where I do my quiet time. So that's where I get up and I have my coffee, and I'm just quiet before the craziness of life. So that is important for me. So if you were needing to maybe create like a new morning routine, what you can do is even just change this. What I'm going to do is use a little whiteout. So if you need to repurpose something, that's totally okay, right? So we're just going to repurpose this. And I'm going to use one of my pen gems, right? So maybe this is morning. If I could write, y'all. See, clearly my brain is still on vacation. All right, so if you were looking to build your morning routine, so 6, I get up at 6 and walk dogs because, they think they are the number one priority, right? And then 6:15 is coffee, tea, and then at 6:30, I want to start reading. Because honestly, about the only time I have to fit in reading is either first thing in the morning or after work. And usually that's when my husband and I sit and watch whatever TV show that we happen to be binge watching. But this kind of gives me, a place to decide what that looks like. And then maybe it's, maybe you need an after work routine. Right? So you get off work, what do you do next? Maybe it's go to gym, right? And then you got to shower because listen, if y'all have been to the gym, you need to go shower. All right. And then maybe then you are doing your make dinner. And maybe then after dinner, maybe that is when you do your quiet time. What I have found is that not everybody is productive at the same time of day. I am usually pretty productive early in the morning and like late afternoon, as long as I have gotten kind of like a refresh, right? I need to take a break from my day job before I start doing other things, but I can be very focused and get a lot of stuff done late in the afternoon. But if you get me past 10 o'clock, I am done. Done, DONE, done. But your routine is whatever it is that you are looking for it to be. But I want you to think about, as you're working on these new habits, where do they fit in with something that you're already doing? So like I'm already doing the walking the dogs and getting the coffee and the tea. What I'm doing that I need to stop doing is I sit on my phone and scroll for half an hour before I go to work. Instead, I need to put the phone down and read my book that I want to get done, right? Because I've set some goals about reading. So that's where it needs to go. It needs to not be my stupid phone, and it needs to be just picking up the book, right? So sometimes just having it written out, and you can go back and look at it and be like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Sometimes you need that level of detail and that kind of checklist for new routines as you're building them. And then eventually you can get to something that's much, much more generic. But if you are really trying to add new habits into your schedule, I strongly recommend doing some checklists and using those as you're going to keep you on track and help you stay consistent with those, because it does take time, right? You didn't, whatever bad habits you have, hello, using my phone, you didn't get those in a day. They're not going to go away in a day. And frankly, I feel like I'm always working on that one. But they're not going to go away overnight, right? It takes time. It takes consistency, doing something different. Because that is kind of how your brain is currently wired, and you're trying to rewire it to do something different. So when you're trying to either stop a bad habit and replace it with something new, or you're trying to add another good habit into some already good ones, you want to just really write down what it is that you want it to look like. Try it out for a bit. If you're not consistent with it, try putting it somewhere different. Maybe first thing in the morning is not a great time for a quiet time, because maybe your brain's just not awake yet. There are definitely days that my brain is not awake at 6 a.m. But generally, it doesn't take much. But it's okay to do some trial and error about where you want to start doing things and what you want to change about your routine and your habits and your overall schedule. So I encourage you to take some time today to really think about this week ahead, especially because a lot of us are coming off of vacation. We're coming off of this holiday season, and we are so out of anything that we had as a routine that even just getting back into that is going to be a struggle. So don't necessarily feel like you have to add new habits on January 1 just because everybody else is. I want you to be successful. I want you to really find what it is that you are really trying to work for, and build that into your normal routine. And I want you to be successful. Okay. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Again, if you are watching on YouTube, please go to theblendedmama.com and join our Chaos Coordinator community so you can get more in-depth help over the course of the month with building those new habits. But I look forward to seeing you guys again soon, and I hope you'll have a fantastic day, and Happy New Year.